Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone's Boom Labs. Today we're going to be moving on to the board clearing puzzles featuring, among other characters...
You there! Why are you idling about? We have crops to grow.
The illustrious Professor Phlebotomus Floop. God, I really love some of the Hearthstone names. Every now and then they'll whip, there'll be like a sociologist militia. But then they'll make up for it with, like, aysemmtry.
Garrosh versus Dexter!
I don't think aysemmtry is in this mode. I love aysemmtry. And especially the way, because they have the Dwarven Innkeeper do all the voiceover.
Clear out every single minion from the field.
So he'll announce him in this grand entrance. It's so good. I hope he has a brother who comes to Hearthstone named Karazmazaka. That's usually how parents name twins.
We're on our way to a new strand of tasty spike venom.
This is why my evil brother is named Divad. Alright, so now we just have to Spirit Lash all these away. So the idea here is that you not only have to clear their board... Oh my god! Why did I think of that in the middle of this? Hold on!
Go. We'll need the whole field.
Okay, so Swamp King Dread will automatically attack anything you put on the board. This is great, because we're gonna use the tentacles and that property of Dread to pop those two gargoyles, giving us multiple coins and damaging Swamp King Dread and allowing us to play the Poisonous Snail. Because Poisonous, you see, will kill anything that is damaged by the Poisonous minion. And we're going to see that taken to extremes later on. The thought that just interrupted me, I have no idea what I was saying, was that Divad Evilman is planning something dastardly with Karazmazaka. Oh, God. Aysemmtry. That's that good stuff. So, the idea behind these, now that we're 5/8 of the way through the first set.
Right away. Make good use of them.
Yeah, we already know about Charge by now. So now that we're 5/8 of the way into the first set, the idea here is not just to clear your opponent's board off. It's to clear everything. And sometimes that's the most complicated part, is getting rid of your own minions, or figuring out how you're going to trade your minions into theirs in such a way that neither of them survives. How do you soften everything up so that everything is cleared up all at once? This is why I think these are really cool and appealing. So the minion we have down now allows the Hunter to use his hero power to ping a minion. Normally, Hunter hero power only goes face. That's why it does more damage than the Mage's hero power, 2-to-1. Because the Mage, by default, or the Mage hero power, can ping face or a minion on board. And then, what are you... Oh, this is one of the fun ones in the first set.
Some of these minions really like to stick around. Freeloaders.
So we're gonna buff the Pyromancer. I don't actually remember the solution to this outright, so we're gonna play with this a little bit. And then, am I using this and just sacking the Pyromancer? No, because that doesn't... that's not gonna provide me the burn I need. I think I needed to heal the Pyromancer right before that last Holy Smite. And then 2 Smites should do it. So we buff this one. That one will go to 3, 2 going off simultaneously. Will result in one of them dying. Then we'll heal you. And then I get an extra tick damage on the board. Hey, there we go. We figured out where I was going wrong. And then Is that gonna work? Oh no, I heal my face. I don't have to heal either of the minions. There we go. We remembered. We figured it out. We got there. Actually, I just recently found out that StarCraft 2, a game I'm also deeply, deeply fond of, had a big...
Goopily floopily. Are we going to remove those?
That's a cute line. Yeah, I love StarCraft. I love it so much. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it had a really big influence on this game, on Hearthstone. Even though this is a Warcraft universe game, StarCraft affected it deeply, both in the design of the game itself and just the
Here we go.
the logistics of development. Team 5 staff had to change course to help ship StarCraft 2 on time, and they went over to that project for a year. And the only two people from Team 5 who weren't reassigned were Eric Dodds, who was Hearthstone's old former director, and Ben Brode, who is also an old Hearthstone game director, who took Dodds' job when he stepped down.
A strong start. I've got some gloop to spray when you're ready.
Jesus Christ. So we'll let this load up and let the dialogue play out and then finish that thought.
Uther versus Floop.
Oh, phlebotomist, not phlebotomist. How could I dare besmirch his name?
To my greenhouse.
Okay, so this is the one with anomalous, deal 8 damage to all. All minions is a death rattle.
Leave me be.
So where was I at on that thought? Everyone except Dodds and Ben Brode spent a year over on StarCraft. Everyone from the Hearthstone team. So they just spent a year doing a rapid-fire iteration on the game. They would make their cards with just pen and paper real quick and dirty to test things out. And then when everyone else from Team 5 came back, they pretty much had a functioning game running on Flash, rest its soul.
This may take some hard work.
So this one is complicated because it involves 2 minions who will buff the rest of the board as their death rattle, just adding more and more stats to the board to further complicate things. But this Dark Iron Dwarf loves undamaged minions. Then once everything else is cleared out, we just have to eviscerate him, so we don't have a board either. I really like that idea too, designing cards on paper. I used to do that. I used to design cards like that when I wasn't so much into Magic the Gathering as a game, but just as like a well of creative inspiration, where I would just look at the card art or read the flavor text and then draw things or write things. It also inspired me to just make my own cards and my own mechanics and stuff on just like doodles on paper. I kind of just made fan cards now that I'm thinking about it, or a fan card game based on MTG. I've never actually gotten that into Magic. Also used to love making MOBAs in the Warcraft 3 editor. Just constantly creating new heroes, tweaking their ability kits. It was so good. This was a nice kick of nostalgia for me, too.
From a previous experiment. Make them go away.
Okay, so the 2 10-10s are only part of the problem here. We can actually deal with them pretty effectively, but no matter what, unless we do some lateral thinking, we're going to be left with something. So... Oh, did I mess this up right away? Yeah, right, because I think I attack first, confuse, so his damage is lower,
Touch will get
then I steal him and then swap their stats back in Shadow. So now it's a 2/10, which means it's in range of Potion of Madness, gain control of an enemy minion with 2 or less attack. And then we have that other Confuse. We have 6 mana total. Shadow Flame is 4, 2 and 4 is 6. So, yeah, we remembered what to do. These are the ones that you can tell I didn't practice ahead of time. I've done these before, I just have to think a little harder on these because I didn't try them before the episode. This is another Confused puzzle. Most of these I remember pretty well. They do get more and more devilish to the point where you can't necessarily rely on just memorizing the solution. Where you actually have to understand the logic of the puzzle. Ah, they're fun though. Oh, and as for how StarCraft 2 and the rest of Blizzard's RTSs kind of factored into the design of the game itself, they're all asymmetrical. They're all asymmetrical competitive multiplayer games. Meaning in StarCraft,
clear this rabble.
in StarCraft, you have 3 choices for races to play. You have Zerg, Protoss, or you have Terran. And each of those 3 races gets drastically different tools. And the result is they all play differently, and they have different strengths and weaknesses. While the game itself, like, overall, is roughly balanced. Hearthstone, likewise, is class-based. And it functions approximately the same. Just with a lot more classes. MTG also kind of does this now that I think about it. It has the 5 colors, which each have cards that are exclusive to that color of mana. And then also neutral colorless cards. It's just less restrictive, so you don't have to play mono green or mono blue or whatever. Whereas if you play a druid, you have to play a druid. They've dabbled with... I think this should work, right? Maybe not. Hold on. This is actually a hard one.
Will germinate in time.
Because you have to figure out the most efficient way to clear these off, but not before you've guaranteed that they can kill the 2020. And they trigger damage to enemy minions off of spellcasts, and you only have 1 mana. And then a coin that generates another mana. So, you have to make do with just that. But you also do have just enough to cast every single thing in your hand. So, did we do this right? I can Shadow Step 1 to get it off the board. Do I Shadow Step this first, or do I Razor Petal the 1/1 first? Does it matter? I think it does. And then Backstab clears the last one. Cool. God, these are just so clever. I love these.
Dr. Morrigan could use you next.
Yeah, I was talking about, oh wait. Hold on.
Visit my assistant. She'll get you started.
Yeah, Hearthstone's just more restrictive about how they go about that dynamic. Where you have 10 classes to pick from.
Anduin versus Thra!
And the deck you build can only include cards belonging to that class.
Time to get these batteries charged up.
Along with a really substantial neutral set of cards available to everyone. They've also toggled with multi-class cards before.
I've got plans.
Like the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan expansion had different goblin cartels, which were tri-class. I think, what was it? Warlocks, priests, and mages were grouped together. And could discover cards from a similar pool, and then a recent expansion offered dual class cards, which could be in the collection for either class printed on the card.
Bloop harvests crops, we harvest souls. Remarkably similar.
Like Warrior and Paladin got paired together, Warlock and Demon Hunter, Mage and Rogue was the pairing from that expansion. Also, this is really fun. Anytime you get a Defile puzzle that involves death rattles that spawn more minions, it's just nifty. So I think we have this lined up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then whatever pops out of the Void Lord, the 1/3s, should bridge the gap to the 6/7, right? So now we have at least 3 more ticks. God, I love Defile. What a cool card! If you didn't catch the dynamic of Defile, it's a 1 damage AoE to the whole board. And then if it kills anything, it casts a second time, and it keeps doing that until it has failed to kill something. So you set up dominoes with it, and it's so fun. It's such a good card to use. It's one of my favorite cards ever printed. Yeah, the neutral, like the sizable set of neutral cards. I think that's probably inspired by the colorless Magic the Gathering cards, and it gives the game a little bit more symmetry. But I think part of the design for that might also come from Warcraft.
Is that double soul value?
I think it might also be harkening back to the neutral hero tavern and mercenary camps in Warcraft 3. So the idea here is, remember when I said poison applies to any damage that minion does? That doesn't just mean attacks. Oh wait, I've messed this up. I think I'm supposed to attack the chicken first. That way it'll be strong enough to kill off the abomination that I just made poisonous. That means any damage they do, including like AoE damage from a death rattle. Or if you put poison on Wild Pyromancer, same thing. Any damage the Wild Pyromancer does to the board that you trigger off a spellcast would do that too. Same goes for Life Steal, by the way. That's why Control Priest was so strong last meta, or one of many, many, many reasons, was because they had a way to put Life Steal on Wild Pyromancer and clear the board while healing themselves. So for this one, we're going to start off with Bran. We're going to galvanize our mechs to reduce their costs. Play an Explosive Sheep that's going to explode for 2 damage on death. Attach a Skater Bot to it. And then I don't think we're using the other Skater Bot yet. Let's see. No, we are going to Looney this and buff it with 1/1, which, because of Bran being on the board, is an extra 1/1.
I wonder what this does.
That battle cry will that battle cry will trigger twice, which means it triggers the death rattle twice. Then we trigger it 1 more time, and the idea behind the magnetic keyword, by the way, that I've been using to attach the skater bots to other mechs is just that. When you play a magnetic card,
Impressive sight. Perhaps Morrigan could use your mind.
when you play a magnetic card to the left of a mech, it will attach and gain its stats and card text. And it will become 1 minion.
Excellent. Help me clear out these stubborn minions.
You assemble them like Voltron. It's so good.
Thrall versus Dr. Morrigan!
Get to work. We have little time to waste.
Cool.
My work will no doubt be more complex. Will you manage?
Stay on target!
Cool, so I believe this will be our final set against Dr. Morrigan. So we're going to first play the Flame Tongue Totem between the two flying machines. They have Wind Fury, which means they get to attack twice. It's pretty hard for them to survive attacking twice into this board. And, oh no, I think I messed up. Because I think we want to do... we want to spread their damage out between all 4 of the taunts and just soften everything up. So we do that by doing this. Everything is damaged now. Then we can do the Wild Pyromancer package. And you know how this goes by this point. Rock Biter Weapon on the face. That'll give us 2 attack. 3 attack, actually. Trigger the Pyro. We need to get rid of the Flame Tongue Totem at some point, so Lightning Bolt on that. Pyro's dead, and we have attack left over to kill the River Crocolisk.
I can't stand all the breathing. Destroy them all!
Okay, so the idea behind this one is that we want to generate a lot of small minions with charge that are going to be able to chip away at some of these giant minions, but mostly they're going to be buffing up the Scavenging Hyena, who gets stats every time a friendly beast dies. And we've generated a lot of those. So buff, buff, buff. Oh wait, I think I needed to put my Timberwolf in a more careful position, because now I can't clear both of these. Ah, bummer. Unless, no.
These souls are valuable. We can't let any go to waste.
Oh, wait, this is what I've been doing wrong. The Alpha Wolf has to be between the Direwolf Alpha, or the Timberwolf has to be between the Direwolf Alpha and the Hounds. So I can trade them in like this. And then I'm using Power Shot on, I think this one, yeah? Yeah, and then we're good. And then I need to trade this one in first, because if I trade the Tundra Rhino in first, the Scavenging Hyena wouldn't have a charge. Yeah, okay. That one was actually kind of hard. I forgot how hard that one is. Oh, this one's so cool!
As you can see, these minions stubbornly cling to their souls.
This is one of my favorite ones in this category. Because it revolves around not only a really complicated sequence of events and a really complex combo, it involves a combo that has been around in practical play in previous metas. This has been a thing that if you were on ladder at a certain point in time, you may have seen someone just do this to you. So we've now dropped Grumble. Grumble puts all these cards that we just played back in our hands. Then we play Zola the Gorgon, a Gorgonzola pun character. Then we play Fireplume Harbinger, again to reduce the cost of elementals. Oh, another one, a Murmuring Elemental that triggers the cost reduction battle cry twice. Let's do some more of that. We have a 0-mana Grumble now. And it's gonna put all those cards we played back in our hand. God, that's so good, and we're not done. Oh, is that even the last Grumble that we play in this? No. Oh, wait, no, it's because I need that Shadow Flame. It is the last Grumble. I just needed to do this. Yeah, there are effectively infinite Grumble combos with Zola the Gorgon. and then you combine that with certain other, a couple other elemental tribal cards, particularly ones from that meta, and you got just an OTK with that. One turn kill. It was so good. I love stuff like that. I love big, flashy, ridiculous combos that actually turn out to be practical.
The greatest virtue is patience.
So Spirit Singer Umbra is going to trigger the death rattle prematurely of whatever drops on the board after her. And now, have I done this correctly?
For the wild.
I'm gonna say no. Because I have to drop the Mulch Muncher to kill the 2/2. And then that's not enough. Oh, actually, wait a minute. The Death Rattle with Poisonous would have done it. So I think I wasn't thinking about that, but there is now that I consider that an alternate way to do the puzzle than what I was thinking about. First, we are going to play the legendary spell, because that's going to give us 1 mana crystal every time one of our own minions dies. So we're going to trade 2 minions in, so we have 5 and full mana. Then, clear the board as best we can. Umbra, and then we have the Death Rattle Boy. Trade into the Poisonous minion like before, drop the Mulch Muncher. And then we can also do it this way. Cool. Yeah, you'll often find that these puzzles have multiple solutions. I think it's
I have assembled some amazing talent. Come, try your luck.
I think it's a little bit too difficult in a game this complex with this many interactions going on to anticipate every possible alternate solution and nip them in the bud. So we remember Sonya Shadow Dancer. She's the one who, when a minion dies, a friendly minion, she gives you another copy of it that is 1/1. I think it's that costs 1 less. Oh no, that's from the 5/1 maybe? Either way, have I left myself enough room? No, we needed to drop another Tentacle of N'Zoth. Actually, we could drop all of them. That's where I went wrong on this one.
Need more power.
Come, try your luck.
Yeah, this time. This time we know what to do. I'm just gonna play all the tentacles. And not even worry about it. Because I should end up with 3 after this. And 4 mana, so yeah, we got there. This is another one that took me a second to re-figure out.
Perhaps the living are not as bad as I thought. Good work.
Dr. Morgan learned to work with the non-undead. So we'll be moving on to survival and then all of the super hard versions of all the puzzles next time. Before I go, I want to thank you to my $10 and up patrons for the month: Victor T, Absinthe Miasma, Evan, Kyle, LC, TKUet. I do not know if I'm saying that wrong. Correct me if I am. Sorry if I am. Cracky, Wolfman 500, Brenton Buchanan, Chris Mixner Croft, and Sandfox. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.